So let's proceed to the second part. So we just talked about the predict function. Now we want to train the perceptron, and we're going to do that by adjusting the weights. And so I just made this trainer. And what we use here is accuracy, and just a little attention to the fact that accuracy may not always be the measurement that we care about, but it's quite a good start. And remember, it's just a proportion of the good results overall. And so we're going to count. Well, this is just like generating or initiating the accuracy. So we want to know how many times we're correct out of the whole thing. This is going to be the whole thing, and then we're going to iterate through the metrics, and we're gonna accumulate those predictions after we predict them with the predict function that we covered. So we're gonna have the list of all those predictions, and then we're gonna compute the accuracy. So if our prediction, which we saved in line 7 here, is as the real data, then we're gonna increment the number of the times that we are correct, and we're gonna print it. And eventually, we're gonna look at the number of times we were correct over the real data. So this is a sort of a helper function that we're going to use in our big function. And so, as I said, the weights are what we care about, weights and biases, which help the weights. And so we have this function. I made quite detailed documentation, so you can take a look at what each one of the parameters is doing. But let's just give it a cursory review. So matrix is the data, as we saw, weights, and number of epochs. So that's something I'm going to take note of soon, and you will understand it thoroughly. The learning rate is, here it's 1, so it doesn't really matter, but it's something we can think of as sort of a step size that we remember from gradient descent. Do plot is a parameter that basically tells the function whether we want to plot our incremental progress every iteration. And I'm going to show the situation where it's true. Stop early is quite important. It says if we get to 100% accuracy, we're going to stop because there's no point. So we always want it to be true. I can't think of a time where we wouldn't. And verbose just says let's have detailed explanation of each iteration, how much we got better. And for each one of those epochs, which is general, let's just give it like a general sort of definition. It's just a time epoch is a time where we went through all the data and tuned our weights one time of doing so. And every time we're going to do that, so here 10 times, every time we're going to do that, we're going to take our trainer, we're going to push the metrics into it with the weights. And of course, the weight's going to change from time to time, hopefully. And we're going to print our accuracy, and we're going to plot the new situation, the new classifier. We're going to stop if we reach 100%. And we're going to dive into the tuning of the weights. And so for a data point, we're going to run the prediction, and we're going to check the error, and we're going to print a bunch of stuff to tell us if we got better and how we got better. And importantly, we're going to modify the weights. So a weight is going to be itself plus this learning rate / step size we discussed, the error that is measured over here, which is the difference between our prediction and the real data. So error is 0 if it's right there, and then this whole thing is going to 0 out because the weight is just perfect. So this multiplication times the data itself. So basically, that's it. So just like to get an idea, I just ran it one time, and that's what we got. It's not that great, so maybe it's not enough. So in the main function, we basically just give it initialization of the parameters. So we plot every time, and we stop early. Learning rate is 1, epochs is 10. It's the same data, nothing changed basically, all the same, just going to run it. And so let's scroll to the first step, and it's going to really exemplify how it works, right? So those are predictions for the first epoch for the first time, of course. This is 1 over here, not 0 really. And those are the weights, and our accuracy is 50%, right? So this is sort of like saying even a broken watch is correct 2 times a day, right? So this is sort of what we got over here, not really useful. And we see the adjustment for the weights, so the weight was 0.2 turned into 1.2 and so on. So this is how each datum changes our weights. And we get different prediction. So I encourage you to, before I roll down, to think if those are the predictions, how the classifier is going to look like. So that's good to build intuition. And assuming you did so, then our accuracy is still going to be the same because we're going to expect something to look like this. Or, as you can see in the next step, our classifier didn't get much better. So it could also be something that looks like this, or, well, if they're all the same thing, it could be also the other way around. So the whole area up until here would be in purple. And so let's see if we get better. So epoch number 3 is actually number 4. Our weights look quite different. Our accuracy is not much better. And then in epoch number 4, interestingly, our accuracy is 100%. We got much better. So that's quite cool. And then how many more epochs are we going to have? So you probably know, and you probably answered correctly, that it's going to break out. So no more epochs, no more runs. And you might ask, well, how many epochs do we expect? Like, how many epochs is good? I mean, if this is not a situation where we can get 100% of the classification, how many epochs should we run this? So our friends at MATLab's website asked the same question. What is it? And then they said, like, how many should I run? The more I run, the better I get. And this might be true for marathon runners. The more you run, the better you get, but not for neural nets, right? So the answer this guy got, and I thought would make sense, is that it doesn't always work. And so it's a bit like overfitting, right? So at some point, the weights wouldn't really get better and have the prediction. But what we can do is we can optimize, use some other techniques you can explore further before we go into training. There are cool resources relevant that you're welcome to check. Relevant code